Greetings, I'm Art Fireman and we are Projector Reviews TV. Hey, the Rio Olympics ended last night, so still feeling patriotic, I broke out a flag-like shirt for today's videos. Meet the all-new Epson Home Cinema 5040UB. Now this projector is something special. At $29.99, the 5040UB is a 1080p projector, but it's the least expensive home theater projector that handles true 4K content, and it also uses pixel shifting to take advantage. And that produces an impressively sharp and detailed image. On top of that, the 5040UB has a new lens and it is motorized. Now this projector is truly revolutionary compared to the older 5030UB, not merely evolutionary. This vid is based on our in-depth online review. Some basic background. Epson started shipping the 5040UB and its almost identical twin, the Pro Cinema 6040UB, in September of 2016. Some of the biggest differences include things like the color of the projector, with the 5040 being finished in white and the 6040 in black. Another is the warranty. The Home Cinema version has a 2-year warranty with 2 years of rapid replacement, which is a great warranty. The Pro comes with a 3rd year of both, so it's even greater. The Pro Cinema is $1,000 more, sold through Epson's local, trained, authorized dealer network, while this 5040UB is more widely available, including, of course, the internet. As to other differences, the Pro comes with a ceiling mount, a spare lamp, and a cable cover, in addition to that longer warranty. Because the technical performance of the two projectors is virtually identical, the Home Cinema 5040 review here is based on our use of a 6040UB and an early engineering sample at that. I always think of the 5040UB as the enthusiast version, since it's available online. So this is our long video with detailed conversations about picture quality, sharpness and detail, and overall technical capabilities such as the handling of 4K content. If you aren't interested in all the finer techie points, check out the 6040UB video, it's a bit shorter. The older UBs, ultra black projectors, have been around for almost a decade. They have fairly consistently been my favorite value proposition for serious quality home theater at a reasonable price. That's in part due to the fact that they pretty much have set the standard for affordable great black level performance, the holy grail of home theater projectors. The new 5040 builds on that, but obviously sports a number of shiny new bells and whistles too, starting with the much improved 2.1:1 zoom lens that's not only optically superior to its predecessor, but is fully motorized. And that, folks, means lens memory. Finally! Now, I'm a widescreen owner with a 2.35:1 CinemaScope shaped screen, which is wider than your standard HD TV. With the older Epsons, I'd have to get up and change the zoom lens and the shift manually when changing from widescreen movies to HD TV content. Ouch. Having lens memory allows you the luxury of going with a widescreen, a real plus if you're more into movies than HD TV or streaming viewing. Lens memory is great stuff, a real upgrade that perhaps 20% of potential owners will truly appreciate, including me. The real news, of course, is 4K content handling and pixel shifting. With Epson succeeding in producing an image that just might convince you it's a true 4K projector, not some faux K, as some like to call projectors that accept 4K content but don't have 4K panels. True 4K projectors at this time start with the Sony VW365 ES at $9,999. By the way, I'm reviewing that one right now. We're going to take a close look at what the HC5040UB is capable of with some images showing 1080p. 1080p with lots of image processing for detail and sharpness and pixel shifting engaged, and then the handling of the same image with 4K content. But first, let's run through all the hardware features in this video clip, so enjoy. We start our tour of Epson 6040UB from the front. You'll notice the door sliding open there to reveal the new lens. It's a 2.1:1 zoom, but this one is motorized. Zoom, focus, and lens shift, and that means lens memory. There's also an infrared sensor on the front. By the way, both this one and the 5040UB are identical in all these regards except the case is white. Power switch and source control on the right-hand side. Open the door to reveal the control panel. We have a standard menu button there, 4 arrow keys in a diamond configuration. The enter or OK button is in the center. Escape, which takes you back up menus, is in the lower right, and the lens button takes care of accessing all the lens features. On the top, power indicator light, one for lamp, one for temperature. And that, folks, takes us to the back. Now the 6040UB also comes with a cable cover, which the 5040UB does not. Starting here at the left, we have the optical HDMI for those using optical HDMI cables. HDMI 1 is HDMI 2.0, that's the latest, with HDCP copy protection 2.2.
That's what you need for Blu-ray UHD, DirecTV 4K, and so on. The other HDMI is standard stuff. Moving further to the right, you've got a USB and a smaller USB service port. Our next over is a local area network. That's an RJ45 connector, and just in case you're using a network in your home, it's hardwired. Still got a PC that uses an analog hookup. There's your standard HD15 connector. Serial connector is next. That's a DB9 for old school command and control. And finally, there's a trigger out 12-volt control for operating a motorized screen. Also, below, you'll find a Kensington lock. That, folks, concludes our tour.
Welcome back. Epson's lamp life is very respectable, I should note. Not exceptionally long, so kind of nice that they sell their replacement lamps for less than most. Epson claims 3,500 at full power and 4,000 hours in medium power and 5,000 hours in low or eco mode. Now let's talk brightness. Epson claims 2,500 lumens. Now this engineering sample got very close but didn't quite get there. Interestingly, between the time I published my review of the projector and shooting this video, I saw another review that measured their engineering sample at just over 3,000 lumens. Go figure. Samples. Anyway, no worries. Epson uses a cinema filter when in its best modes, and this results in calibrated brightness around 900 lumens, more than enough for a typical 120-inch diagonal screen. But you need a good bit more for 3D or for HDR, high dynamic range, which is part of the 4K suite of standards, comparable to what you see at your local Cineplex. For 4K, we choose Bright Cinema to calibrate, and it is roughly twice as bright, and brightness is what 4K HDR calls for. The Martian, Ender's Game, Journey to Space, Lucy, Rocky Mountain Express, and 4K all really wow, despite us not quite mastering the color accuracy in gamma yet. Hey, it's the wild, wild west of 4K UHD. Eric, our calibrator, like others, is just coming up to speed with the new gear and is in learning mode like everyone else. But that'll sort itself out soon enough. As you can see from our 4K photos and video, the color really does look rather good, if not quite as accurate as 1080p. Close enough for now. Now the pop of the 4K image is impressive, although I'm still getting a handle on how we are really going to be benefiting from HDR since there's only so much brightness to begin with. Generally, LCD TVs and projectors technically just aren't bright enough. But let's forget that for now. More important is how does the Epson's picture look? Now to me, having HDR is actually secondary to the perceived sharpness with 4K content. So let's take a look at what the 5040 UB can really do. Now here are two sequences of photos taken from Ender's Game, stepping through the basic 1080p to pixel shifting 1080p, and then finally to 4K content with pixel shifting. By the way, I'm using image presets as well for further detail enhancement, as noted on the images. The final image is a similar frame, slightly different crop from the $9,999 Sony True 4K projector. Yes, the Sony's reality creation, yes, their detail enhancement, could be pushed harder. It's at its default setting. But if the Epson can seem as sharper on 1080p or 4K, that's still really impressive. Even more impressive is that the Epson does this for less than 1/3 the price. So call the Epson 4K, but respect it for what it can do. Some features like smooth motion on the Epson don't work with pixel shifting on, but that's a minor trade-off. Now I've got almost 200 hours on this Epson now. It looks really sharp and detailed, and I'm especially enjoying 4K content, which I'm starting to accumulate rather rapidly. Basically, I'm loving it. Sure, there's a lot of fancy processing going on, but Epson has succeeded in convincing me that it can look visibly sharper and reveal more detail than a standard 1080p projector without being over the top. I have noted that close-ups of skin tones can be a touch hard, but hey, just dial down the image preset feature, for example. I really like using 2 as my default setting, but I've cranked it up to 4, which really sharpens things up. But again, this is a setting that can be a little hard in some scenes. I do like it though. I have long awaited a major upgrade in the UB series, folks, and this is it. I'm excited. My expectations have been exceeded. I only wish Epson had been able to further improve black levels one more step. They did improve the iris, affecting black frames, a plus, and the improved optics with a lot less blooming makes a visible difference, but it would have been a bonus if Epson narrowed the gap a bit between it and the more expensive JVCs, which start $1,000 higher. When it comes to pixel shifting though, I don't find that those JVCs seem as detailed or as crisp as the Epson, so let's score a win for each. The bottom line, I counted the older Epson 5030UB as my favorite mid-priced home theater projector at $22.99 for being a serious home theater projector and a great value. If anything though, the 5040UB is a greater value. The $700 increase in price delivers dazzling improvements in multiple areas from lens memory to detail enhancement with 4K content. I've still got a 5030UB right here, and I've switched back and forth. I've watched sections of Ender's Game on the 5030UB and then switched to 4K Ender's Game on the 5040UB. 4K content, folks, is upon us, so expect more 4K projectors to hit the market over the next year. But certainly for now, this Epson is the least expensive and, by my take, the best value out there when it comes to accepting 4K, period. Folks, this is a real step up. As I said, it's revolutionary. If you are the person who really appreciates a great picture, figure this affordable Epson, which can't be the best at everything, but the level of picture quality and performance for the price, it is currently unbeatable. The Home Cinema 54UB received our Best in Class award for Best Value Proposition in the $2,000 to $4,000 range in our recently published 2016 Best Home Theater Projectors Report. Folks, that's my highest recommendation. Hey, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm Art Fireman. We're Projector Reviews TV, and also, by the way, Smarter Home Automation. Check that out. If you found this helpful, please like us. Thanks a lot.